Well, isn't that an interesting question? So, since some men have difficulty controlling where their eyes go, they shouldn't be in charge of countries? But I find that to be very interesting. Again, we have another individual blaming all men for the actions of some and insinuating that that makes them unqualified to lead. Well, if we're going to be on that note and being that petty, well, we could also say that there's a lot of women that can't control not only their emotions, but their opinions that come out of their mouth, and they put some of the most interesting things out there on social media for everyone to see. And honestly, that doesn't make a lot of women look good. So if we are going to judge all women by the same standards that we judge men on the actions of some, then why exactly would some women be advocating that they are even remotely capable of leading? Hmm. And they say that some women are lacking in class these days. No idea where they ever would have gotten that idea from. But unfortunately, I foresee posts like this becoming ever increasingly more popular, especially with everything that's going on in the world currently. However, posts like this are specifically designed to garner attention and validation, specifically from other women. And my advice would be if a person is in that desperate of a need of attention and validation from other women, try doing something positive with someone's time. Say nice things, spread encouragement, and other things that other women probably need to hear instead of trying to spread disparagement and discontent. But unless, of course, someone is just advertising that they wanted to be a dependa, well, that's another matter entirely, and that's another subject that will certainly need addressing, possibly in the future.
And here we go.
So, it appears that according to some women, that men are nothing without them. It's going to come as a great shock to a great many men who actually are very self-assured, confident, and happy being single, to learn that to women, they're nothing unless they have a woman. But yet, ironically, some women who like to quite obviously dress for success seem to be the ones that are most adamant that women are everything without them. But yet, it really doesn't make any sense. If a person was that self-assured and confident in themselves, then why would they try to bring other people down? Doesn't really make a lot of sense, does it? So, really, are those women as happy being single as they say? Or is this just some kind of a cover because they're really quite genuinely miserable? Okay, so if not plus size, then what? Now, what I'm about to say might actually really hurt some individuals' feelings. Because sadly, we do live in a time when reality often does offend some. But that is just unfortunate, and reality doesn't care. Now, if a person is not aware of this, they should be. Approximately 74%, so the majority of Americans, are considered to be overweight, if not obese. And if a person has done any research at all, they would know that obesity-related medical issues are the leading cause of many individuals leaving this world before their time. Now, body positivity has done a great many things for individuals that do need to love themselves for who they are. But if a person truly does love themselves, they should strive to be more healthy. And sometimes that does mean admitting that a person is actually overweight.
It's all men because there's not a single man on this planet that has not made a choice that directly oppresses women.
You heard it right here, gentlemen. Every single one of you, whether you know it or not, has apparently made a choice to oppress women. Although I should ask them, I wonder what their definition of a man is, because a lot of individuals really do seem to have confusion with the definition of a woman.
Not a single one, not a single man on this earth that is not guilty.
Okay, I have a question. Because I've never been oppressed. I've been treated rudely by some men, but I think some individuals don't understand that that's not the same as being oppressed. So how exactly are women in the Western world currently being oppressed by men? I really hope I get a good answer on this one.
It's not all men because the good men know we're not talking about them. We are. It's not all men because we don't know which man. It's all men because it quite literally is all of you.
Anyone notice how bigotry is becoming really popular with some women? And so is sexism.
You are all guilty of this. Every single one. It's all men because it's all men.
In point of fact, it is not all men, and saying it over and over again isn't going to make it true. But still, how exactly are you oppressed?
Modern women are continually putting men in a group that men have honestly and truly nothing to do with. They don't even know they're being accused.
So the male suicide argument that you guys always use?
Oh, by that, they actually mean the unfortunate circumstance where many men leave this world before their time due to unfortunate mental health issues. But if you've watched this channel long enough, you can guess that that's not where this is going.
Is really just an example of men being violent. You do realize that, don't you?
Oh dear. I wonder what they think about women that commit the same acts. Because if we're going to discuss this in the spirit of equality, they must have no sympathy for women with mental health issues either. Unless, of course, they're just blatantly one-sided, which I have seen their content before. I would be led to believe that that is actually the case. And sadly, there are a lot of women that have no sympathy at all, specifically just for men that have mental health problems, as can be seen by this. But remember, gentlemen and ladies, there are a lot of individuals out there that care about you.
Things that guys do that are for girls only.
Little ironic, isn't it, that some women seem to think gender roles are perfectly acceptable as long as they're gatekeeping things that are only for the girls.
Complaining about how much things cost.
Well, considering most women think that guys should pay for everything involving dates, they absolutely have every right to complain if something is too expensive in their opinion.
Cause what do you mean? Oh my gosh, this steak costs $60.
I would have to agree. I would say that $60 for a steak is a bit exorbitant, but how are they going to try to twist this?
Buddy, do you have an idea of how much the foundation on my face costs?
No. Women wear makeup for themselves, remember? So whose fault is it anyway that someone paid that much money to look a certain way, just for themselves?
Get your wallet out and pay them.
How elegant some women are. Can't imagine why so many guys are choosing to remain single.
Want to hear a joke? Liking a man for free.
And the punchline to that joke would be the types of men that have so little self-esteem and self-respect that they would actually put up with that type of behavior.
You got a brand new woman, we laugh all day, like don't.
What? You mean they're not celebrating? Well, that's a radical change of pace, and I must say it's pleasant to see. Because here we have two attractive women surrounded by thousands of men, and they're actually disappointed that they're not being approached or hit on by any of these men. And I think that we all need to recognize who is mainly responsible for this. A small minority of women that don't like men, because they have been telling individuals that they don't want men to approach them, that they want men to leave them alone, and that in fact men aren't lonely enough. Well, this is a message to those women, that small minority of women that dislike men. There are a lot of women that actually think reasonably and rationally and do respect men and actually want men to approach them. And yeah, I'm sure you're going to call them names, but most of us don't care what you have to say.
Am I the only one that feels like we are kind of at war with men right now?
No, someone isn't the only one that feels like this. A person actually has a lot in common with a very loud minority of women that all have something in common. They are prejudiced, a person could even say bigoted, against men.
Like, I'm feeling very against men right now. Like, I go spaces where there's majority men, and I feel there's something there.
Yeah, that feeling, it's called misandry.
I feel like I am resentful, like when I go to the gym and there's guys there, when I go golfing and it's all men, I'm just like, I think all of you hate me.
No, someone has that backwards.
I don't know, it's just the way that men have been treating women for so many generations.
And here we have the antithesis of logical and rational, holding things against men of today that were perpetuated by some men in the past. Oh yeah, makes perfect sense.
And today we're like, wait, what the fuck? Why is locker room talk a thing? Like, why? Like, it's just, maybe I just don't respect them or something more than ever. But I don't know. Does anyone else feel this when they're around men specifically?
No, sadly, someone is not alone in that feeling. There's a rather loud minority of women that have decided that it's perfectly acceptable to despise an entire group of people based on the actions of some members of that group. But I would like to point out that if this prejudice was based on skin color, this would not be acceptable. But since it's based on a person's gender, so long as they are a man, it's perfectly fine. It's really sad how many irrational women there are out there.
Boys, I like bags full of crap and easily replaceable.
In the spirit of equality, frankly, a lot of us could say the same thing about a lot of women.
Leave men out.
But why? What is the point?
My nail tech is a woman. My doctor is a woman. My OB is a woman. My barista is a woman. The girl that tints my cars is a woman. The person I buy my cars from is a woman. You get the point. I do business with women. And if there is a man, I ask for a woman. Leave them out of the conversation. Leave them out of the business deal. Boycott men.
What's it like to be so obsessed with one group of people that they would actually go so far as to try to boycott them because they seem to think that women will do a better job at things? And someone's probably asking, what's their reasoning for this?
Because if it isn't clear, the reason America looks like what America looks like right now is because of men.
I would actually argue that it would be due to the uneducated masses, because let's be very clear, there are quite a lot of individuals that actually are under the impression that Europe is a country versus a continent. But continue.
We have a male problem. Be mean, be rude, carry pepper spray, a taser if you can, a bang if you can, carry all of it because they don't understand the word no.
They don't, do they? Based on what? The actions of some? So therefore, they're going to want to punish the entire group of people.
The reason they are so scared of a matriarchy is because of what they did to us with the patriarchy. They may play dumb, but they know exactly what they did to us.
I know that they're going to really dislike this little fact being thrown in their face, but most men, in fact, haven't done anything wrong towards women.
Uno reverse men, dog them out, be rude. I cannot stress this enough. Women deserve revenge.
Bear in mind, it's individuals that tend to think a lot like this that honestly think that they would do a better job themselves of running the world.
Cut them out of the conversation, cut them out of everything. Decenter them. Fuck them. What do I know?
I really don't think that someone would want me to answer that.
You know, there's so many things that women could be doing that would be more productive. Like she's doing now. You could be focused on the road, driving, listening to music, whatever you wanted to do. But modern women continue to post silly content like this.
You cannot be racist to white people.
Okay, let's just assume for a moment that that's true. A person can still be prejudiced or even bigoted towards another person based on what their skin color happens to be. So somehow that makes it better, right?
This is a topic that makes a lot of people mad, but we're really going to get into depth as to why that is accurate. Race is a social construct.
Actually, that part is true, because race has no basis in biology. And I know that is going to upset some, but if you disagree with it, go look it up.
Race is a social construct that has continuously propped up lighter-skinned people, specifically those of European descent. The people of European descent are the people that created the concept of race and racial hierarchies and racial structures.
So far, they are being accurate.
That being said, racism as we know it today is a social construct that has developed over the years. So yes, you could say, oh, but the definition says this. I'm not talking about the definition. We are talking about a social construct.
But wait, a social construct also has a definition too. So that matters, while the definition of racism doesn't. Okay.
Social constructs change. Just like the social construct of gender has changed, the social construct of racism continues to evolve.
Yes, according to some, gender is a social construct, as we have just heard is race. So theoretically, a person should be able to change their race if they feel like another one, correct?
Specifically, when we are talking about here in America, racism does not exist in the context towards white people. That is because white people have continuously been propped up.
So just to be clear, it doesn't matter if you're despised for the color of your skin. As long as your skin looks similar to mine, you're not experiencing racism in their opinion.
People who are white and of European descent do not experience oppression because of the color of their skin.
This is the same logic that a lot of individuals use to say that males can't experience sexism, by the way.
Racism is talking about oppression because of the color and the race that someone portrays as.
And that's why that is. Because some individuals are of the opinion that in order to experience racism or sexism, oppression needs to take place as well.
So you cannot be racist, specifically in the context here in America, because of your whiteness. That doesn't exist.
Well, I guess it's a good thing that the definition of a bigot doesn't involve any sort of oppression whatsoever.
Because racial constructs and social hierarchies are social constructs that were created and that have always benefited European people.
I might also point out that the idea of age is a social construct, and some individuals will argue that it doesn't matter what age you actually are, it's the age that you feel.
I'm not at all saying you can't dislike someone because they're white or you can't be mean to someone because they're white, because you absolutely can. But when we are using the word racism, it's very important that this word is used correctly, because racism is a horrible thing that has existed for the benefit of white people for a very long time. I hope this helps.
Remember, this is the exact same argument that a lot of women use to say that you can't be sexist towards men.
We need to go back to when we didn't care about men's emotions, for real.
Well, at least they were brave enough to show their face, for what that's worth. But unfortunately, we don't live in an ideal world. Because in an ideal world, everyone would care about everyone else, to include their overall well-being as well as their mental health, regardless of their gender, orientation, so on and so forth. Yet sadly, we live in this reality, which is full of very selfish individuals who lack a basic knowledge and basic understanding of what mental health actually means to a great many people. And they also have failed to take into consideration what actually happens when men suffer from poor mental health in some cases. But that would involve actually thinking things through.
Fuck men's mental health. Fuck it. Fuck all of that shit.
How about no? A lot of us aren't in the habit agreeing with the most ignorant of individuals that would actually make such a statement, let alone agree with it.
You know how there's only female gyms? Imagine if there was an only female social media platform.
Sounds like a wonderful idea. I can just see it now. Just imagine what women would be talking about on a women's only platform. Yeah.
If you could open an Instagram or TikTok account and only allow girls to follow you, only allow girls to see your videos, like engage with your content, whatever, and every single man was just banned on the platform. They couldn't sign up.
I think that someone is under the impression that it would somehow be better without men. Because do they think that women never leave disparaging, nasty comments? I mean, they could take a look at some of the comments I receive.
That would literally be my dream, because all my TikTok videos, it's just filled with hideous men commenting vile, disgusting things.
Well, that is unfortunate. However, there is a reason the block button exists. But it is rather naive to think that if a social media platform was only consisting of women, that they would never receive any nasty comments. Please.
I just want to block every single man. I don't want men to see my content. But like, you can't do that. You can't block every single man on social media. I feel like that would be a really great idea.
Lots of things have been called great ideas and often ended in disaster.
Males with penises will never be women. I couldn't agree more.
This is going somewhere, isn't it?
That's why I'm a female with a penis.
So we're just throwing around words and basic terminology willy-nilly, not taking into consideration any of their possible actual meanings, along with any of their possible connotations. And I say this because there are a lot of individuals out there that genuinely believe that gender is completely a social construct, which is why, in their opinion, it can be changed. However, most people do understand that male and female are biological terms referring to a person's biology, and we all know that biology, after all, cannot be changed. So, female with an appendage. This is just rage bait at this point. There are individuals saying whatever just to get attention.
Liberal.
Interesting sound choice. I wonder what exactly they were trying to imply there. Oh well, I digress. But to the subject matter at hand. To you ladies and gentlemen out there that agree that men need to be made more lonely in order so that they'll concede to your demands, what exactly is the plan when you discover that men are choosing to remain single all on their own, and more are doing that every single day? Because they are discovering, thanks to social media, that there are a great many women out there that simply aren't worth the time to try to date. So what exactly is going to be the plan then? And then to be upset that someone actually cared enough about other human beings to mention that men, unfortunately, have a higher rate of poorer mental health in some areas. And sadly, a lot of them remove themselves from this world before their time. Insinuating that that's a bad thing? Yeah, if anything, that's going to make more men be more single. Because there are some women out there that are simply not good people.
And I love it when I see these types of videos where they make fun of men's issues, but then they want a man to protect and provide for them. They want a man to take what they have to say seriously. But and it'd be one thing if you were talking about, oh, men, you know, short kings or something like that. But you're actually talking about somebody unaliving themselves.
Trans women with bottom surgery are real women. No, they're not. And it doesn't matter how many surgeries a person has or how much work a person has done. They are not a real woman. To be very clear, they are still a trans woman. And don't mistake my meaning. There is nothing wrong at all with a person being transgender. It only matters to myself and many others that they are good people. But what I am really sick of hearing is especially those individuals who are not themselves the definition of a woman, an adult human female, having the audacity to tell myself as well as other women who have been female our entire lives and have been told over and over again that we are less than simply because we are not male. What exactly is a real woman? Stop trying to tell women what is a real woman. We have lived it. We know what it is. Stop trying to gaslight us into convincing us something that is not true.
These are some questions you should never, ever, 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 ever ask a man.
Let's see how single women are trying to keep other women single today.
Number 1, are you hungry? It doesn't matter if he's hungry. It's not your problem.
So caring.
Number 2, do you need something? You're not there to fulfill his needs. He's there to fulfill yours.
Thanks for demonstrating that someone doesn't know how relationships actually work.
Number 3, how are you feeling? His feelings don't matter. Only yours do.
So much for some women having empathy.
Number 4, do you like this? Whether it's something that you made for him or something that you're, wearing or whatever, or something that you got, whatever. Unless he paid for it and, he offered to buy for you and you want him, to get his money's worth. No, don't ask that. But otherwise, you don't need his validation for anything, for any reason. Because why? His opinion doesn't matter.
I can think of somebody else's opinion who really doesn't matter that much either.
Can I help you with that? He doesn't need your help. He's a man. He does not need your help, okay?
I wonder if they consider men and women to be equals. Because that would mean that women don't need help from men either.
What can I do for you? Or what can I do to help you? Nothing. The answer is nothing.
Why didn't they just title this video, How to Make Sure That Your Relationship Absolutely Fails in Every Way Possible? That would have been much easier.
We dance, we kiss, we schmooze, we carry on, we go home happy. What do you say? Come on.
Okay, I have what might seem like a silly question, but what exactly is the logical reason why women should hate all men? Is there one? Because I have heard numerous reasons why women should hate some men. I have yet to hear an actual reason why women should hate all men. So I'm really hoping that someone can actually answer this question for me in a logical, reasonable manner. Now, I know that there will be some individuals out there that will call me names. That's to be expected. But that's only because they can't actually answer the question. So for those women that say they hate men, why? Why do you hate all men? Is it because some men did bad things and are still doing bad things? Is it because some men out there in the world have power and you think that women don't? Really, I'm actually hoping for a reason why someone would encourage hate. Unless, of course, it's just to turn a profit.
Can we talk about when a guy makes a girl pay or he doesn't open the door for her or he's just not being a gentleman?
Sure. Let's talk about that.
He's like, well, you wanted equality. Are you stupid? Are you stupid?
No, the guy in this scenario is not the one suffering from that particular problem.
We wanted equal rights, like women should be able to vote and stuff. What? That's literally it.
Along with equal rights comes equal responsibilities. But I guess some women don't want to be treated as equals. They still want to be treated as less than men, so that they are deserving of being catered to. So some women didn't want equality at all.
No one asked to pay for anything. No one asked to open their own doors or carry their own suitcases. Don't be manipulative like that. That's crazy.
What's crazy is that some don't understand what the word manipulative means, because many women actually fought to be treated as equals to men. And yeah, that actually sometimes entails paying for your own food.
Don't flip it on us like that. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? We wanted to be able to speak and have a voice and get jobs if we wanted to. But please, that argument is so crazy to me. It's really funny. I'm like, oh, you're stupid.
It's always cute when, after saying such interesting things, that someone would still think they're the smartest person in the room.
Ooh. AK mommy, tag me in.
They're gonna have to tag somebody in because that commenter blocked me.
She is very embarrassing. Very embarrassing.
I'm embarrassing? To who?
I presented several arguments. She never answered any of them. She didn't.
Well, that's because I never watched the video.
And she also stated bigotry against men. I should get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
Is anyone else getting the feeling that they don't know what the word bigotry means?
So you're worried about men's feelings. You're worried about how men view us. You're worried about how we speak out against the things that men do.
I always find it amusing when someone tries to tell me what they think I'm worried about. But if you really want to know what I am worried about, it's narratives like, this is you, right? Talking about reducing the entire male population simply because you don't like them. Now that's embarrassing.
We know what men will do when they have unchecked power. They will harm, they will abuse, and they will lie. So when I say thin the herd, I mean thin the herd. Because the only way to get rid of such an oppressive or oppressor is by making sure that they don't even come into existence. I said what I said.
Yeah, they said what they said. And that is what's really embarrassing.
It seems like every single time that you hold a woman accountable, that person holding them accountable, if it's a woman, must be a pick-me. Of course, we know if it's a man, then he's misogynistic. So that's already a foregone conclusion.
At the end of the day, all men want is to watch football, drink light beers in a jerk circle with each other, and just like be gay for each other. That's what they really want.
Fascinating. Not the least bit true, but still fascinating.
They don't want to be in a relationship. They don't want to get married.
A person could actually say that about both men and women. A lot of individuals are actually choosing to remain single and are very happy for being so.
Since women can provide for themselves now, I feel like men have lost their purpose.
Their purpose? What exactly was a man's purpose prior to women being able to support themselves, I mean?
It's like they don't feel the need to seek out a woman and start a family. They don't feel the need to like work really hard to make a bunch of money to like make a family and provide for a woman. Like they don't want to do that. They just want to be with each other in a jerk circle, watching football and drinking light beers.
I'm just going to say it. There's nothing wrong with a person choosing to remain single. It doesn't make a person a better person than someone else if they're in a relationship. There's nothing wrong with being single, and it's about time that some individuals out there accepted that.
In the year of 2026, if you insist on having a man in your life, he needs to be doing backflip super somersaults through hoops to be in your life.
Why would any sane, self-respecting man put himself through that? Why would they do backflips to be in a relationship with a woman who obviously doesn't respect him as a man?
There's no more compromises. There is no more 50-50 relationship. What the fuck is that? These men are scary. They are scary.
Some men are. But you know what's even scarier? The fact that there's a lot of women out there that seem to think that all guys are the same. That's terrifying.
Oh my God, we need reform right now. We need reform.
Right. I agree. And I think it should start with a lot of guys staying purposefully single until some of these women out there remove their head from wherever they have it stuck, thinking that they're God's gift to humanity.
At midnight in the hanging tree, are you coming to?
This is for those that happen to think that that little stunt was funny. I would actually like someone to explain to me why this is funny. Because, yes, there are unfortunately some women out there that are afraid to walk alone at night. But I feel I should mention, because apparently this isn't well known, there are men that are also afraid to walk alone at night. And yes, I do understand that some women are going to argue that women have always been afraid to walk alone at night. So therefore, it's only reasonable that men understand what women have been going through. Okay. So you're assuming that they don't simply because that they're men, that they don't understand that there's dangers out there in the world. So naturally, the most reasonable thing that some women could do would be to try to scare men into being afraid. What exactly good are you doing in the world?
If you're currently pregnant or you're planning on having children soon, do you understand that right now is not a good time to have kids?
If we were to ask the subject matter experts, when exactly has it been a good time in the history of humanity to have children?
And if you're willingly trying to get pregnant, I'm not happy for you. I'm actually not congratulating you at all, and I think you should get rid of it.
It's really quite amazing how many individuals out there really seem to think that their uninformed opinions actually matter to the average person.
And I'm sorry that might be a little harsh, but nobody should be reproducing right now. The world is literally dying. We're overpopulated. You just don't need more babies.
But what we do need more of is joy and hope for the future and a desire to do better. And those are things that children often bring to those who need it.
There's a bigger thing you need to focus on. Let's focus on the people right here instead of making unnecessary extra people that will just use up resources. I know it's really harsh to say, and like they're animals or something, but babies provide no benefit whatsoever.
Was that the voice of experience speaking? Because there seem to be an awful lot of individuals who really don't seem to serve much purpose at all in this world. But I digress. But one person should really not be telling another person if they should have children or not. Although I would agree, there are some out there that really aren't fit to be parents.
I actually do not think men should have an opinion at all on having children. I really don't.
And why would that be? Men do contribute to the process of creating children after all, so why shouldn't they have an opinion?
I genuinely don't think men should have any say in whether a woman has kids or not. I don't. I'm sorry.
So they don't get a choice in whether or not they get to choose to contribute, or are they talking about something else here?
If you're like, oh, I want like a whole soccer team, it's like, yeah, of course you do. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is like, maybe for 5 seconds, like do a little something, maybe if you're lucky for 5 seconds.
So because they don't put forth as much effort in regards to birthing the child, then they don't get an opinion on whether or not the child is created?
If you were lucky enough for a woman to choose to have a child with you, you should feel so fucking lucky, not entitled to it. You should feel so grateful and lucky and blessed and not at all entitled. Like, who are you to be like, yeah, like, she's gonna give me like this and this many kids. Girl, fuck you.
I'm really starting to believe that a lot of individuals out there don't think that communication in things called healthy relationships actually exist, because many couples actually do discuss how many children they want to have.
Of course you'd want to be a dad. Have you seen the way society treats fathers versus the way they treat mothers? Yeah, if I could be a dad, maybe I want kids too.
Are they watching the same thing that the rest of us are watching? Because fathers are often not treated very well.
I genuinely do not think men should have any opinion at all on having children. I really don't. I really don't.
And I don't think those that are really uninformed on particular subject matters should actually speak on them. But we don't always get what we want.
I don't think modern women know. And if they know, they don't care how silly they sound when they say a lot of this stuff. They just keep on yapping. And what keeps them saying a lot of this stupid stuff is the women in the comments, their friends, hyping them up. And once again, if it was a joke and people are like, no, I'm kidding, then it would be okay. But modern women really think like this.
And so what if I hate most men? Like, what about it?
Well, sadly, there really isn't that much that can be done at this point to change the mind of someone who has decided to despise an entire group of people.
Like, wow, you really caught me there, didn't you? And the men who come onto my page and comment that I'm a misandrist or that I hate all men, like, as if that's my fault.
Actually, it is. A person does choose who they choose to despise, most especially if they've then made the decision to despise an entire group of people. So why try to deflect the blame away onto the men, most of which have not done anything wrong?
I'm not the one causing men to be shitty human beings. I'm not the one causing you guys to act out in the way that you do. I don't know, be more likable if you want to be liked. I promise you it's not that hard to be a good man.
And it's not that hard to be a good human being either, but there are those out there that often do fall short.
There's only a couple of things that you have to do to be liked by women. 1, develop basic empathy skills. 2, don't be a pedophile or a sexual predator. And 3, care about women and our rights. I don't see how it's so hard for you guys.
And I don't understand how some out there really don't seem to understand that most men aren't the monsters that some of you honestly seem to want them to be.
There are a lot of men who are pathetic fucking deadbeat losers.
Well, we could say the same for some women out there too, couldn't we?
You can call me a misandrist, you can call me a man-hater, I genuinely don't care. Because the majority of you guys have never done anything that deserves you being liked by a woman. And the men in the comment section who are inevitably going to be mad at this video, they are pathetic little bitch losers.
Ironically, individuals that make this type of content need those types of individuals to make disparaging comments, or else they wouldn't have any content at all.
The good men, who don't need to proclaim to the world that they are good men, are not going to have an issue with this video, and if you come into my comments and you tell on yourself, that's on you.
Really? So, in order to be considered a good man, they just must lie back and take it. Wonder what that sounds like.
Women don't want to hate men.
Really? Then why do some women make it their entire personality? Oh, that's right, they're desperate for validation from other women, and they really have nothing else better to say but to disparage men on the internet. And notwithstanding the fact that a lot of those women actually profit from it.
We have to hate men.
Don't speak for me, or more sensible women that actually understand that hating an entire group of people is actually a bad thing to do. But in someone's opinion, why do some women have to hate men?
Because you guys literally make us miserable on every single level of society.
Some of you ladies are so miserable out there, and I use the word ladies rather loosely. Why don't you go off and make your own society of just women? Oh, wait. But then what would you do when you have nothing to complain about? Oh, that's right. You would do what a lot of women usually do and turn on each other. But that's another subject entirely. Well, some women could accept them as the consequences of their very own actions. Because if a person thinks about it, a lot of women for years had been asking men not to be so masculine because masculinity, in their opinion, was toxic. They wanted men to be more in touch with their feminine side, which meant being more in touch with their emotions, being softer, more gentle, more kind. And they got exactly what they wanted. But now it seems that some women are not happy with the results. So are you really going to blame the men for this, for doing exactly what a lot of women were wanting them to do? Or should you take it up with the women that weren't happy with men actually acting like, well, a person would say, manly men? Because this is really the consequence of a lot of women's own actions, and some women simply don't like it. So perhaps take it up with the right individuals. Let's do something a little differently.
Body count matters.
No, it doesn't.
Well, to a lot of people, it actually does.
If you think it doesn't, it probably means yours is too high.
Yeah, mine's probably lower than yours. It still doesn't matter.
This is going to be fun.
And I believe people need someone that looks like me to say that.
Someone that looks like they don't have enough life experience to understand that being an insufferable pick-me is not a long-term plan.
And we're going to stop right there. Because seriously, name calling? Yeah, that's the best way to win an argument. Well, only if a person doesn't actually have one. Because contrary to what some individuals will keep telling you over and over again, every person is allowed to have their preference when it comes to dating. And body count actually does matter to a lot of people. And that includes women as well as men. So perhaps take that into consideration the next time that someone wants to get up on a high horse and call other people names. But people are allowed to have their preferences, like it or not.
Women who hate men make the best wives and girlfriends, and I will die on that hill.
I've been hearing this particular argument put forth with ever-increasing frequency on social media. A lot of women are out there trying to convince men that they themselves that dislike men the most would make the best partners, when that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Their argument is that they don't seek male validation or male approval. Therefore, if they choose you as a man, then you win the dating lottery. But how much sense does that make? Who really wants to date someone that dislikes every single person of their gender except them? That doesn't really sound like a winning equation. I mean, just think about how often you're going to have to listen to them disparage men. But frankly, it seems like these women are trying to convince men of this because, well, I'm beginning to think that a lot of these women are just lonely.
You know, we continue to hear about modern women going to therapy and doing the work. But then these videos let us know what type of work that they've been involved in. And according to what I'm hearing here, it's nothing but toxicity.
So you guys just want to stay single, right?
True. A lot of gentlemen out there would honestly rather stay single.
Because why else would you stop approaching women in public entirely?
Other than the reason that a lot of women have told men to leave them alone, they don't want them in their lives and they don't need them, quite frankly, a lot of women's personalities really aren't conducive to an actual conversation, let alone a relationship.
Because I feel like back in the day, like early 2000s, maybe the 90s, it was so common for men to walk up to women and, start a little conversation. Nowadays, that does not seem to happen anymore.
There's a lot of men out there have woken up and seen what some women out there are really like. So, frankly, most of them would rather stay single than risk being with some of the types of women that they see every day on social media.
So tell me, why is it that you guys would rather just die alone?
Because a lot of men have realized that it's not only easier, but it's much more peaceful being single. And not only that, but a lot of men have woken up to the fact that they have self-respect, and they don't need to be in a relationship to be considered a complete person.
I just died under arms tonight.
Another new day. And another new way has been found to be embarrassed about being a woman, based on the ignorant actions, behaviors, and opinions of some women out there. Rather, it's a great many women out there on social media. Because, believe it or not, posts like this have become incredibly popular, as I have seen numerous posts very similar to, if not almost identical to this one, that are actually celebrating, if not encouraging, physical aggression towards men from women, sometimes just because the man said something that the woman didn't like. And unfortunately, there are so many women out there that are so incredibly misguided that they actually, embarrassingly, find this type of content to be not only inspiring, but empowering.
Okay, genuine question for those that say that women should go 50-50 in a relationship with a man because it's the 21st century and we're equals now.
Okay. What's the question?
Do you think that women fought for the right to have our own money, have our own bank accounts, have our own property, just to turn around and give that to a man?
It really sounds like someone is just a tad bit confused on what actually equality really entails.
To the same people that were fighting us on it, that were like, no, you're not equal. Oh man, I wish you could have a bank account, but you're just not equal.
Wait till they find out that men, some of them at least, actually fought alongside women in their struggle for equality. But then again, that would ruin their narrative.
And then we fought them so fucking hard that they were like, okay, fine, but we got half.
Do you think that someone realizes that splitting the finances 50-50 actually means that the money goes to the bills and expenses? Yeah, probably not.
Do you have a brain hemorrhage? Hey, do you have a tumor?
No, but I can imagine someone that might.
That might be happening with you because your words aren't making any sense.
Well, not everyone has the greatest comprehension skills.
Most women are actually offended if a guy that is ugly hits on them.
What's important to remember here is that those women are choosing to be offended.
And no amount of trying to shame women for feeling that way is going to change the feeling.
A lot of individuals don't know the difference between shaming someone and pointing out possibly toxic behaviors.
People need to be more realistic. Like if a girl is out of your league physically and you approach her and she looks at you like you're weird, it's because you're being weird.
The guys aren't the ones being weird, because a person misses 100% of the shots that they don't take. What is weird, however, is a lot of women with overinflated senses of their own value in regards to their looks and expecting everyone to treat them like 10s.
If she doesn't say anything, you should be so lucky. Because some people out there are actually mean and will actually make you feel bad about it.
Manners and common decency do seem to be things of the past, and there's a lot of individuals that are very attractive, but have no class.
I'm one of those people. I don't think that women should allow themselves to be uncomfortable and like coddle these like delusional freaks.
And here we have an example of no class.
You are not attracted. You should not be bothering attractive women with the hopes of getting their number because it's just not going to happen. It's a fairy tale. It's a fantasy. Like, come back to reality.
What I find especially enjoyable, and this is my petty side, it's when some of these women actually manage to convince a man to be in a relationship with them until the man realizes that their personality doesn't match with their appearance.
Ladies, notice the language and the mentality of men these days.
Well, I can certainly understand how some women could be confused, as the language was rather straightforward and the mentality rather honest.
How they position themselves as the prize. So he's saying a guy could prove he's romantic and a provider if you pass the coffee date interview, yeah, to see if you're worth the effort.
And for those that are still confused, that's what a first date is for, to decide if the individuals involved are actually compatible with each other and whether there's going to be a second date. I don't know how this is so confusing.
I'm sorry, sir, but if you think a woman needs to pass an interview or some sort of assessment for a £5 latte, cheers, before you can act like a provider and a proper man, tells us everything we need to know about you.
Indeed. It actually shows that they're in possession of a certain trait, which seems to be rather diminishing in this world, and that happens to be common sense.
Interesting how most men these days think that a woman needs to pass some sort of test in order to prove their worthiness or in order to be picked.
That's rather insinuating that women just accept whoever happens to come along if they seem to think that vetting the person that you're possibly going to be in a relationship with is odd.
A real masculine man leads with generosity.
I don't think a lot of women actually know what a real masculine man even is.
Whilst insecure boys lead with tests and low budget dates. Know the difference?
No man with a shred of self-respect is going to fall for very tired shaming tactics. But maybe some of those women that actually use them would be happy dating the men without self-respect.
Ladies, know your worth. Don't allow any man to determine your worth.
I would like to point out the absolute irony of women saying that it's okay for them to know their own worth and vet the men that they go out on dates with to see if those men are worthy of dating them. But yet if a man does that with women, they consider that to be audacious.
And you know what's funny? Modern women will get mad at a coffee date. How dare he treat me this way? How dare he try to qualify me? All the while, I'm trying to qualify him by seeing how much he'll pay on a date, by seeing which restaurant he's going to take me to, by seeing if he's going to send a car without me having to ask, by seeing if he's going to text me good night and then text me in the morning, by seeing if he's going to be the one to continue initiating from now until forevermore, to see if he's going to be the first one to always apologize, to see if he's going to be the first one to initiate conversation always, always, always after an argument, even if he isn't wrong. It's never going to be me, because as a man, you should cue the list of 50 things that these modern women think that you should be doing as a man.